Aloha, welcome to another episode of In the Green with BNI. What's up, Paul? How are you doing today?
What are you doing, Felicia? You got big plans this weekend?
Family. Daughter has a volleyball tournament today. I mean, on Saturday. Ooh,
We
yeah.
are back at it, full swing in the season.
Yes, indeed. How about you?
We're going to spend some family time, get the Christmas decorations 100% down, because we do not believe in letting those go to February. No judgment for anyone else who does.
No
That
judgment.
doesn't happen in our house.
Absolutely. Well, you guys are going to have fun with that for sure.
Be a lot of fun. I'm so excited about having Glenda Caton on our podcast today. How about you?
I am. Aloha, Glenda. Welcome to the show.
Hello, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Look, do you still have Christmas decorations up?
Okay, y'all can judge me. I actually did not even put up a tree this year.
Absolutely no judgment at all here.
None whatsoever.
Kind of Christmas at my house. I'm like, Jesus understands. He knows I still love him. So it's all good.
It's the COVID 2020 year. I think all bets are off and anything goes.
Well, based on that, so how did your family, who we're seeing pictures of right now, feel about that? Tell us more about Glenda and her family.
So that's my son Malik and my daughter Toby. And they didn't really mind. They're both in college. And so they woke up late as opposed to when you're 4 and you get up at the crack of dawn. And then I just put a bunch of packages in front of each of them and they went to town and then we had brunch. So it was it was great. So they're fine. They're good kids. And then we have our dogs. Sebastian is the big one and Mia's the little one. And I kind of say that they're like Malik and Kobe. Like you can tell which dog belongs to Malik and which dog belongs to Kobe. So a lot of similarities there, personality and all. So
Yeah,
that's my family.
awesome. So you love hot yoga?
I love hot yoga.
What's the
Yes,
difference between hot yoga and cold yoga? Is there a difference?
there is. It's about 130 degrees and 90% humidity. So your muscles work. They're able to stretch a lot quicker, and it's just really really relaxing because I hate cold. So the heat is like you're in a sauna. I'm do hot work on Cantrell. So I'm in a sauna and I just crank it up to 130 degrees and I just do the yoga with a virtual instructor.
That's like doing yoga outside in Houston in the summer. I don't know that most people would call that fun.
Yeah. It's detox. It is complete detox.
So you're an employment law nerd, master connector, and you joined BNI in 2019. So I definitely want to hear more about the employment law and you being a master connector. But since you've been in BNI, which one of our core values is your favorite? And tell us a little bit about why that is.
That's really hard. But I always go back and forth between giver's gain and building relationships because I think they really go hand in hand. But the giver's gain really means the most to me. I just kind of have, I don't know if it's a sickness or a servant's heart or what it is, but just being in an environment where you're encouraged to continuously give, and then obviously it reciprocates, but it's okay. Sometimes you go a while and you don't get anything back, but you are getting to see other people be successful and help them build their businesses. So that's fabulous.
It's such a great quality that I find in so many people in BNI is what you said, that servant's heart, just that love and passion for helping other people build and develop.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, we've got some things on the screen here that talk a little bit about your business. So now that we get to know you a little bit, tell us a little bit about Kate Consulting and what you do day in, day out.
Okay. I do a lot. So I am a human resources consultant. So usually when people hear that, they're like, oh, you want to run my payroll? And I'm like, no, but I can connect you with someone that does want to run your payroll. Basically, what I do is I can come in if you already have an established business with employees or team members, and I can just be that outsourced HR department that's helping guide you in every way. You know, if you have workers' comp or FMLA, any type of leave. I can help you with recruiting and interviewing and hiring, and do it. My focus is on compliance. Like that's where the employment law nerd comes in. Is I love employment law, so it's so much fun to go in and help steer business owners, in the right direction to protect themselves, because just a couple of fines could completely destroy their business. And everybody knows accounting is important and marketing is important, right? When you're doing a startup. But how many people think, oh, maybe I should bring in HR? And they don't realize that some of these employment agent or employment law agencies like the Department of Labor and the EEOC and IRS even, they will completely wipe out a small business for crossing those lines. And so, but even more than that, I love, love, love the first time employers. Like they are my favorites. They're the ones that are in that growth stage. And they don't really know what they don't know, but they're like, I've got to hire people and I don't know what I'm doing or how to do it. So it's just they're so I guess ironically green. And so it's fun to go in and say, okay, here's where you are now. So where do you see yourself? How many employees do you think you're going to have in 5 years? And let's build that out so you don't do what a lot of businesses end up doing. And 40 employees later, they're like, oh, wait, we should probably go back and get a handbook or make an organizational chart and decide who's going to answer to who, things like that. So it's in place and the business owner can focus on doing what they love. I love HR. Let me do what I love. And you can go and you can build houses or, run your business, whatever it is that you love. And I can take that off of your plate. So that's Caton Consulting. That's an overview of what I do.
Yeah, well, that's amazing. So when people are hearing all those different things and they saw those that were listed on their screen, tell us a little bit more. How do they know they need to be hiring you?
Well, so you need to ask yourself, first of all, am I ready to hire my first employee? What does that look like? Am I using contractors when I should have an employee? So if you're in that situation, then you're just going to ask yourself that question. That's a good time to reach out to HR. I prefer me, but just reach out to someone. If you have an established business with established employees, then and you find yourself facing high turnover, just a negative culture, no matter what you do, you can't seem to set it straight, even though you have the best of intentions. That's when you need to bring in HR. I'm just asking yourself if you have time to deal with your employee and personnel issues. There's a statistic that says 60% of an employer's day is spent handling personnel and employee issues as opposed to running the company when they don't have an internal HR person. So that takes a lot of time away from you being able to focus on growing your business and getting it set up financially and all of those other areas. And there's a lot of administrative duties that are involved. I do hear a lot, and well, I have a CPA, and they said I just have to fill out these tax forms, and sometimes they say an I-9 as well, and so I'm good. I have that, and I'm like, you haven't even touched the surface of what you're required to have on file, So let's talk about that, and I just provide a new hire checklist and all of the paperwork that you need. Make sure your papers or your posters that you're required to show, I can give you all of those, and just make sure that you're compliant. And then another really big question is, does my budget allow for a full-time true HR professional? Not the front desk manager that it kind of was given it was handed off to, but an actual HR professional that knows and lives this every single day. And it's going to cost you a lot of money if you try to go out and bring that in-house. And most small business owners don't have that budget until they hit a much bigger part of their growth stage. But you can bring in someone like Caton Consulting for a third of what you would spend bringing someone in internally as an employee, and you can still get pretty much the same service. And I think also the benefit of that is that there's that disconnect, because your consultant is not going to be emotionally involved with the team. So I can come in and make very, very good decisions, and I have no tie to anyone. So they are definitely black and white decisions, like this is the law, this is why we have to do it this way, or this is previously these are the outcomes we see if we do it this way, so let's do it that way. So that emotional connection is eliminated there, which is very helpful.
Yes, love that. So that's definitely one of those things. It's like spending the money to invest to have you to come in to help people versus comparing that to some fine that could completely take out your business, for sure. So with you being a part of BNI, how has BNI helped you to build visibility, credibility, and profitability for your business?
Well, I think the visibility is pretty it's pretty obvious, but in the time of the pandemic when we've had to go virtual, I mean, think about the opportunity that's there. I can work in any part of the country, so I have literally been attending chapter meetings all over the country. So that's created a visibility, and my lane is not filled by too many. Probably, I haven't met a single one in a chapter that fills the HR lane. So there's definitely a lot of visibility there. But even within the chapter, the credibility is when I get to give my weekly presentation, and my future presentations, I always try to link it back to what's the latest and greatest in employment law. I mean, sometimes it literally changes daily. And so being able to give those updates, and so that establishes my credibility. And then when I can partner or get the referral from a chapter member, and they really see what I do and the feedback comes back to them, from the client that, wow, she really actually helped me. Like this was great. And she answered all my questions and took care of me. And so all of that is going to lead to the profitability. The more visible we are, the more credibility that we have, then the more, I don't think that it's always, we've got to think it's not always like first person, like I know the two of you, and I shouldn't expect that the two of you are going to be my client, but oh my gosh, how many people do you know? So that it snowballs and just keeps rolling down. And this has been a very good year for me. So thank you, BNI.
Thank you, BNI.
Glenda, this is my favorite, and I think Felicia's favorite part of the show too, where we get to celebrate you. And congratulations for being in the green with BNI.
Congratulations. Thank you so much for being a part of our membership and doing such great things, for sure. Thank you, Glenda.
Yeah.
Well, hey, if you'd like to learn more about how to get connected to BNI, just like Glenda, it's as easy as take out your phone, point it at the screen, and this QR code will take you to where you can learn a little bit more about how you can get started on your BNI journey today. For In the Green with BNI, I've been Paul Kroger.
I'm Felicia Miller-Johnson.
And I'm Glenda Caton.
And this is In the Green with BNI.